Hello, welcome to another The Golf Swing Weekly Fix. My name's Mark Crossfield. In this week's show, we've got more swingers coming at you from the apps. We're going to be talking about swing path, club path, swing plane. In these clips, we're going to talk about how to get on plane and maybe some tips and some drills to check if you are on plane or not. We've also got question of the week this week, which is talking about a good way of taking divots. So we're going to talk about how to practice taking divots if you're on a mat as well as on the ground, so a good way of practicing if you're taking your divots with the right clubs. And we've also got a new feature where if you go to my fan page on Facebook, link just here, where I'm getting so many swings through the apps at the moment that can't fit you all in onto the weekly fix. I want to try and give as much of you help as possible. So go onto my fan page within the next couple of weeks and see if your swing's been put up there with some tips over it. So I'll do some shorter videos, just uploaded to Facebook, nowhere else. And you'll be able to see if you're on there also with some tips if you've sent a swing through the app and haven't seen yourself on this show or another show like this in the past. So loads to do. Let's get you playing some better golf. Let's get stuck in. Okay guys, we're going to talk about swing path, the path you should be swinging the club on, the direction it should take around your body. As you can see from the swings here sent through the app, we're getting some funny angles set on the way back. So two players, what we call laying the club off, so getting it very flat with the shaft angle on the way back. One guy who's getting very deep in behind him, setting the club a long way behind his body. Now, what's quite interesting if you work all these swings back is actually on the downswing, these three guys make quite good recoveries. They get the club setting on a better path on the way down. But it's this recovery, day in, day out, or over the space of 18 holes, that's going to cause the issues. You're not always going to make this recovery, which is going to cause you bad shots. And making the recovery is always a change of direction, which can change the path you're hitting the ball on as well, and certainly the quality of strike. So I want to see if we can get you guys trying to set a backswing a little bit more on a constructive path in relationship to where you're coming down in to hit the ball, rather than making these twirly backswings and then trying to correct it on the way down. So look, first drill. I've got a tennis racket in my hand here. Now I'm going to do this with I'm left-handed at tennis, so this one's actually quite hard for me, but I'm going to do this with my right hand. Ball in my left. And what I want you to do is simply, you're going to drop the ball with your left hand, but you're going to prepare to hit this ball as it's dropping with the racket. And I'm going to point the butt end of my racket down to where the ball is going to be at my impact point, hopefully. So I'm going to set myself up into a position where I can actually deliver the racket on a straight line towards where I want to hit the ball. Also, I've got the racket face parallel to my left arm, if my left arm was on the club. So you can put your left arm on the club just to check that. So you haven't got the racket what we'd call open or closed. You've got the racket relatively square to where it would be an impact, which is similar kind of rules to what you'd use with a golf club. It's just a golf club has loft that sometimes makes it more complicated for people to see these angles. So let's give it a go. What I'm going to do, drop the ball, point the butt end of the racket down towards where my impact position is, face relatively square, and I'm just going to try and hit it straight forwards, which I've done. Now, for the people who are making backswings which are laid off, I want you to try and do the same thing with the racket pointing out horizontal, out towards the horizon out in front of you, or out towards the camera in this occasion. Racket face pointing up towards the sky. So it's now, for me to do this is going to feel much harder, like I have to use a different part of my body. For me to hit this ball straight, cool, I have to really flip my hands in, which we can see from a couple of guys trying to get back on plane on the way down, trying to release the club almost too early. Now, because the racket face is bigger and because the racket is smaller, it travels slower and the face is easier to see. So this is a great way to feel where you should be setting your backswing to try and achieve a better hit on the downswing. So for instance, if I do this with two hands, exactly the same as I would with a golf club, I'm just doing it with my right hand because I want to introduce the hit with my left, dropping the ball. So again, butt end of the club down towards the ball, face square to my left arm, as it would be on a backswing. That feels relatively easy to hit forward and straight. You can then go on and try and apply this with an iron. Much harder with a golf club, but you can still give it a go. Set yourself up, butt end of the club pointing down towards the ball, One hand on the club, put my left behind my back, again face parallel to my left arm, and then literally try and hit the ball forwards, which I can do. I can achieve that, where if I try and do it from there, the laid off position, that's really hard. And also if I try and do it from this deep back position, so I put my hand, so I still point the butt end of the club towards the ball, but put my right hand behind my back, that literally feels like I'm going to hit it out to the right. And this is where the tennis racket comes in quite well as well, because for the guy who's making his backswing, which is deep set behind him, which I see lots of people doing day in, day out, if I'm going to drop this ball, try and hit it with this racket, butt end of the racket towards the ball, but I simply put the racket behind me here, I mean, for me to hit this ball straight now feels impossible. Feels like I'm just going to push it out to the right. So I either need to change direction, which is what we see the player do, or what lots of people do is I need to start flipping the racket over. And we now start talking about a kind of top spin, right-handed top spin forehand kind of shot, which will cause spins, body changes as you try to flip the club over, so my spine angles all changing, so all manner of bad shots have come for that. So just with a racket, you can do this in your garden, in your garage, in your house, without a club, just to give you the feeling of setting that club into a better position on the way back. Just literally try and hit a few balls from there. It'll make much more sense why you should achieve those positions on the backswing. And it'll also, what that will do is it will make it much clearer how difficult you're making the game by putting it in the positions you guys are putting it in. Another drill, I've used this one loads before, so I'm sure you've all seen this one. I've used this in other videos. Putting a cane literally on the floor here, the ball just to the right of the cane, another cane on the bottom of the grip, just holding it, and then what I'm going to do is try and reference my club to the path line to try and stay on plane or stay with a better club path. So first checkpoint, club parallel to the ground, parallel to the orange stick on the floor. Second checkpoint, my hands get around waist height just above, butt end of this cane points towards the cane on the floor. The laid off people are going to point the cane off this way. The guy who is deep, he is going to point the cane at the floor, but his hands are going to be set too far behind him. Always try and keep your hands more in line with your body as you're doing this, not out in front of you or behind you, because I can point this at that cane with my hands out in front of me, and I can point it equally if I'm deep, so behind me, but it's going to change the path of the club, which will change the quality of the hit. That's a great way. Lots of people have these canes. First point, parallel to the ground. Second point, point the cane at the ground. The more you do this, drill this, do it every day. You don't need balls, just drill, drill, drill. You'll get out of the habit of wanting to lay off the club. But I do think the tennis racket drill, and you can also do it with the golf club, will really put into perspective why and how it feels to get into this more upright position, how that relates to hitting a ball in a straight line, and it'll make you want to do it because you'll see the results of how easy it actually is to apply that club to the ball from those angles. Hope that helps. Let me know how you get on, guys. Thanks for sending the videos. So look, for the people sending me swings through the app and getting the app, look, I want to try and give a bit more back. Thanks for everyone who bought the app. Thanks for everyone who's sending swings. I'm trying to do as many as I can. If you've not seen your swing in one of these shows or in the future or certainly in the past, go to my fan page here on Facebook, like it hopefully, and have a look through some of the posts. I'm going to start posting from now on as many as I can. So some weeks there might be loads, some weeks there might be less. But I'm going to try and post as many as I can. Just quicker, short, dedicated tips just for these people who are sending swings through the apps and they're not getting time, or I'm not getting time to put them all in the show, because obviously the shows take time to produce them only, so you know I can't get them all in. I want to get as many of you in as possible. So go to my fan page, look through some of the posts, and hopefully you'll find your swing in there with some tips, and hopefully it'll help you play some better golf. If you do, post a comment, share it on your pages, share it with your friends, show the world what's going on. Let's try and get playing some better golf together. So get on the fan page, see if your swing's on there. If you bought my app from Android or iPhone, hopefully get your tips on there if you're not getting them through the weekly fix. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon. Okay, great question. Thanks for posting the question. Here we go. Let's give you your answer. So you're asking about should you take divots and how better to take a divot. I've got 6 iron in my hand. Any kind of mid iron down to your more lofted irons, you want to be hitting on a descending blow. You want to try and hit the ball on the way down. I think a tour average with a medium iron is around 4 degrees on the descent on the way down into the ball. Great way to practice that. If you're someone who's saying practicing on the Astro, not taking a divot, not keen on taking a divot off the Astro, and then when you get on the course, you're struggling to take divots or make a good contact, that's because you're hitting on the bottom of your arc or even on the way up. So if you are hitting this ball down on the level, you're not going to take a divot, or even on the way up, you're going to be taking your divots before the ball. If you can get your descent more on the way down, so hitting down on the ball, you'll hit the ball then the ground afterwards, which is exactly what you want. So look, simple things to look out for. On the range, you need to be hitting the Astro. So if I hit a couple of shots here, what happens is I hit the ball, but there's a bassy sound of me hitting the Astro, hitting the mat, hitting the ground, and it's centered all in front of the ball. I can see the scrape starting to form in front of the ball. I'm consciously doing that. I'm aware I'm doing that. And if I wasn't, if I was hitting them clean off the mat, I would think about, right, I need to hit down on the ball more. So how to do that? Right, simple little drill. Got a black tee here, you'll find tees. This is one of the lower ones on your ranges floating around. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it about a foot behind the ball, directly behind. Now, this will make my backswing feel a little steeper, but this is going to give me the feeling, without changing my ball position, of trying to hit more down on that ball. So that ball's gone out a bit lower because I did hit down on it a bit more, but it's giving me that sensation, giving me that feel of hitting down. These are for people who don't hit down or can't take divots. Don't worry about where the ball goes. This isn't about hitting a good shot. This is about trying to get that contact on the way down and feel what it feels like to hit into the turf if you're doing it on the turf, or hit into the mat if you're hitting on the mat. Another good thing to think about if you're someone who doesn't take divots is simply put the tee a foot behind the ball, but 3 inches on the inside part of the ball, because most people who don't take divots, there's lots of reasons, but one of the most common reasons is they're hitting too much from the inside. So what happens if I put this pencil here hitting the ball on the way down, so you can see the pencil is connecting with the ball on the way down. If I simply turn the club path from inside, so I've not moved the hoop backwards or forwards, all I'm doing is turning the hoop more to point to the right, what happens is it shallows it out. My contact with the ground now is around ball, just before the ball, I'm level with the ball, opposed to in front of the ball. So your club path will shallow you out as well. So if you're someone who's hitting too far from the inside, simply by putting that tee there, if you feel that tee's in your way, like you can't hit it, the reason you can't take your divot is you're approaching too much from behind yourself, too much from the inside, and that's getting you to bottom the club out before you hit the ground, before you hit the ball, sorry, so into the ground early, then hitting up on the ball, which creates those weaker topping, thin out the bottom shot. So try a few shots where the tee's a foot back, couple of inches inside, and see if that affects your club path. Does that make you feel like you do have to swing straighter? If it does, then you're probably someone swinging too much from the inside, and that's going to make it very hard for you to get a crisp strike with a mid-iron. Hope that helps, guys. Simple drills there, just to give you an idea of how to hit down on the ball. Do try and hit down at your irons, do try and take divots, and if you're practicing on range mats, do try and wear the mat away, make a bit of a movement in the mat. You don't want your divot too deep, you want it relatively shallow, but you do need to be contacting with that mat or that ground, ideally under to in front of the ball, never before. Hope that helps. Thanks for sending in the question. So if you like what's going on here, don't be afraid to subscribe to the channel. Also thumbs up the video, post comments, love to hear what you guys got to say. Let's keep it social. The more we talk, the more we share, the easier this game will get for everybody. So if you want to find me on Facebook here, you can find me on Facebook. If you want to tweet me, find me on Twitter here as well. Just follow the links, all in the description. Come and join the show, get active, get involved, get playing some better golf. Thanks for watching.